Hey, what's up, guys? Max here. We're going to go through a couple of trials that I did at the beginning very quickly just to talk about the WoW finale, right? Super happy to have this completed. I decided to go on the left side. I had a lot of the champions to cheese this and to help me make it incredibly easy. Now, as you can see, I went full cosmic team on the left with Ronin cheese. If you don't know the Ronin cheese, maybe and this is your first time seeing this, then you need to bring this guy. Now, you do need to have two 7-stars cosmics to unlock the left because it requires two 7-stars to do that. I chose Gladiator because he has he's tagged hero, so he gives you superiority versus one of the fights on the left side. But for the most part, each champion that I brought has a use. Even Venom as a final boss to take down that spider ham to avoid the evades makes it incredibly easy. So I did a couple of attempts here. You're gonna notice me just die the first few times. Here's my first Ronin attempt against this Aegon, not knowing the entire node. One of the most difficult things that I found at my first attempt was to find that intercept. You can't really block, and have him throw a heavy because he goes unblockable and it's just a bad time. You saw there, I died immediately. The other thing you want to know about this fight is that if Aegon throws a special, he goes immune to any debuffs. So the idea here is to stun him, right? To lock him and stun him with your special one. But if he throws a special and then you throw your special, guess what? That immunity does not allow that stun to trigger, and he basically does not get stunned. I didn't know this in my second attempt here, and I'm like, why is he not getting stunned? What am I doing wrong? That's the whole thing. So reading the nodes, yeah, sometimes we don't do him, and that's why we die so much. But the cool thing is that he's the first fight and you can restart and restart without having to spend or waste revives on this fight. Now, here's the full fight. Being also careful on the root. I got rooted a couple of times in there, so keeping an eye on that, just making sure you can time your special and have a special ready to go if you do get rooted. That's going to help you. But here we go. He launches his special. Now that I know he's immune, we're going to wait for that timer to fall off, and now we can launch our special one. With your special 1-2 in Ronin and the cheese, you want to make sure you have a little bit, about 1.5 bars of power, so that keeps you extremely safe so that you can keep cycling that special one. I do throw a couple of heavies because I thought I needed them, because on the Gladiator Aegon fight I didn't do any heavies and I was taking damage, so you'll see me throw a couple of heavies in here. But for the most part, yeah, it's super easy fight. This is a Ronin, by the way, rank 3 6-star sig 200, so the highest sig possible, the better. And you can make sure you do attach a relic, because in case you do kind of screw up, the relic saves you for an extra stun to get your combo to get to that special one. So yeah, take a look at the fight and then we're gonna jump into the second fight. But overall, super easy fight. I would say this is the easiest. If you don't have to worry about anything, you're gonna have so much fun using Ronin with the cheese method, and just get this done and then move on, right? There's so much content this month, so finishing the woes and claiming those rewards, opening some crystals, and moving on is, especially with the cheese method like this, it feels so good, guys. So I'll keep this final fight and then I'll come back on the second fight. Okay, on to fight number 2 with the Ronin cheese. So with Danny, what you want to do, you want to actually hit into her block here. You see this activates the prowess, and that is what you want to build up. You want to build up, actually, I had it built up to 4, so it's doable with 4, but very risky. If I had to do this all over again, I would probably build it up to maybe 5. But in case you do get 4 prowess on her, you could do it. Just be very on the lookout, because I kind of screwed up on this fight. So here we go. We launch a special one, and you're going to notice my combo basically. You're gonna see here, like I'm like just barely made it to the special one, and then I got kicked back right now, so which gave me a window where I wasn't able to launch it. Use the relic clutch. Right now we're just a little over a bar of power, and now we're actually feeling a little bit more confident, but because again we're very risking it there when it comes to the stun window, to be able to like continue the special unlock, we're feeling a lot better now because we have more time to like, you see there I made a mistake and I paused. I want to point that out too, because that mistake could have cost me a revive here. I just got very fortunate that she didn't launch her special 3, because I would have been completely dead. And then we're trying to build up again the rotation with enough power for the stun. For some reason, just dashing in, I got nervous, I guess, inside this fight, and it felt like I was gonna like, just looking at that stun when clock coming down, and me not yet to a special felt me like it gave me nerves basically. So I would say recommend maybe 5 prowess, so that the stun does last a little bit longer, because 4 is kind of risky, but is doable as long as you don't make that mistake that I made there. But again, overall a cheese method. The only thing to point out here is that you want to hit into her block to build up those prowess, because once you start with the stun lock, there's no more debuffs or buffs being applied to Dany, and that is it. So again, relic comes in clutch, and then keep launching your special ones when you have at least a bar and a half, close to 2 bars of power. The more power you have, that special one is gonna just feel very easy to just keep going. But yeah, I'll keep the fight going so you guys can see the whole fight. It's almost over, and we'll come back on the third fight. All right, guys, so on to the Hulkling fight with my Gladiator. Now, this fight, actually, I completely forgot. I was actually going to take Gladiator to rank 2 for this fight, just to have him, because I do enjoy his style, his gameplay, his new buff. I feel like he's a great option for offensive, whether he's going to be extremely usable or not for the meta and battlegrounds for the next season. But I do enjoy playing him. He's super cool to play with, super easy. Love the damage he applies. Now, the reason why we brought Gladiator here versus this Hulkling fight is a couple of things. He's a hashtag hero, which gains superiority. Now, if a superiority champion is attacking this Hulkling, at the end of the special, he applies a 2-second stun, which makes it incredibly safe to basically hit into the block with your specials, not having to worry about any reaction or Hulkling countering your into the block special. And that's what you want to do basically inside this entire fight. So you want to hit into his block, because that's kind of how you do the maximum damage. The other thing I want to point out is he does have a protection, so you want to knock out that protection. Notice I delayed there my attack into his block. The reason why is because I was unblockable and I wanted to hit into his block. Now, one thing too that I kind of didn't read, I was reading the nodes, or I did read, but I kind of forgot because there's a lot of nodes active on this Hulkling, is the kinetic absorption. So you've noticed that if I hit into his block, look at my power bar, it's a lot quicker. I get closer to my special 2 a lot faster when I'm hitting into his block, as opposed to just hitting into him. So that is one thing you might want to consider and do a lot of, is hit into the Hulkling's block just to gain as much power as possible. Right here, we're going to be very tight into a special 3. We wait a second here and go into a special 2, but look at that damage, 31 Ks, and then the stun, and it's just an easy fight. I do make some mistakes throughout this fight, but overall, like, you can combine your special 1, special 2s into the block. Just make sure the protection's down, and with his combo and like stun, it's so easy to remove the protection. So Gladiator, for this specific fight, I would say if you have him as a 7-star, or if you want to bring him as a 6-star, but now you have Ronin as a 6-star, so you won't be able to go with the 2 6-stars here. You kind of have to have him as a 7-star. Unfortunately, I know that many people have him, but I would look into other hashtag hero champions. Like I said earlier, I was thinking of doing Angela, and I might consider doing her to see how that interaction kind of goes. It's probably going to be a longer fight too with Angela. This one became like a 5-minute fight, and a lot of it had to do because of the fact that I wasn't really focusing on hitting into his block for the power gain, so that was my mistake there. So here we go. We're gonna I went for a heavy into his block, which that's not the way he works. You kind of want to launch your parry. You want to launch your heavy as you're hitting him to stun him. So yeah, this is the fight, guys. I'll leave it here so you guys can watch the entire thing, but Gladiator's a beautiful option here for this Hulkling. Let me know what your options or what champions you brought for this fight. Now that we're at the final fight, my rank 3 Venom, I gotta say, been super happy with this rank up. I actually went all in to try to get Venom when we had that selector 7-star from Necropolis. So he's been such a great option and just a great champion overall. And even today, with the WoW challenges, we're seeing him shine. Now, one of the things I did want to point out that I don't show here is I have a certain mastery swap that gives me 5 out of 5 and deep wounds. So notice the bleed take away. It's very impactful, the amount of bleeds, and that actually is doing a lot of the damage. One thing I do on purpose is try to keep Spider-Ham at special 1. You're gonna notice I do end up pushing him to like special 2, and that was on purpose, thinking that I was gonna get possibly the KO, but I don't. But we do take an entire special 2 into the block. But here, look at this. We use the relic. We have 4 bleeds, and he's just like, each bleed is almost close to 1,000. It's ticking at 809, and those are fabulous. So here we have another 4 bleeds. Look at that bleed damage. So here's where we launched a special 3. We did have 3 popcorn stingers on us, and look how much damage that reflected back to him. So again, we pushed him to special 2. He's at 7%. I almost risked it in going for an entire 5-hit combo into the relic, but I didn't want to die, so I was like, you know what, let's just block this entire special 2. It did do some damage, but not too much crazy damage, and guess what, he's down and dead. He goes. So overall, like I said, I had a lot of fun with this world challenge, especially at the end. That basically gave me enough points to be able to claim every single milestone, and we're going to be seeing the Time Crystal opening here, which completely changed the direction of my account, and it improved my account overall like 10 times. I haven't had the best of luck when it comes to like prestige champions. I used to be a big prestige guy when it comes to like, hey, making sure I had the latest prestige champions. They were a little bit more attainable for me, I would say 2-3 years ago. Now not so much, right? The 7-stars are really hard to come by, and when it comes to 7-star champions, you really gotta like drop a lot to be able to like get them and dupe them. And at this point in my gaming MCOC life, I feel like it's probably too much for me, and so everything has been coming in a little bit slower. And with that all being said, this is the time pool of champions that are currently in the crystal, and this is going to change in like maybe now 3 days or 2 days as the release of this video. But in the live stream, if you're watching this on the play, or if you watch the live stream, you're going to see me go back and forth talking about like the best options I can possibly get. At the end of the day, I ended up deciding to go for it. I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking about it way too much. The pool is actually really juicy for me. There's a couple of champions that I wouldn't want out of that, but overall, with some of the 6 stones that we have, with some of the information now that 8.4 has been released and kind of like the rewards are, I think going for this Titan Crystal was a good choice of me. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it definitely was the best choice for me to open. I put the crystal in the spinner, again, very nervous, but ultimately some of the champions that I wanted out of that was a dupe on Gladiator, a dupe on Werewolf, a dupe on Photon. I think those were a Kushala, because I don't have her. That would have been a nice pull for the first time. And those were my best ultimate choices of champions. There's a couple of champions like Bullseye, Onslaught, that are in there that, you know, that would be lovely to get, and kind of like thinking towards the future of the next Titan Crystal that we might get, and that would have been good. But we land in the middle of 2 Red Skulls, and Red Skull is not a bad champion. I would have taken him to rank 2 as well. But this changes everything. Like I was saying earlier, the direction of my account. I am going to be focusing on her, hopefully focusing on Science Catalyst, Science Crystals out of 8.4, just to be able to get more SIGs into her. And then she is looking to be my next and soon to be rank 3. So very excited with, like I said, overall everything that I come about from completing World Challenge. It was exciting. I took it very slow. Sometimes I jumped in there immediately, but for the most part, I kind of left it towards the end and grinded out some resources, some revives, some health pots, and did not really cost me anything when it comes to these World Challenges, besides some time, and when it comes to completion of items. But very happy, like I said, with my results. I know this is not always the results for everybody. It changes. There's been content that I just not had the best RNG, but in this case, we do luck out completely. And as you can see there, she's number 5 at rank 3. Photon, one of the top prestige. You know, we're still missing a dupe on Sunspa. Obviously, we're missing an Onslaught. All these champions would be amazing if we were to get them, but we still need them to get them twice, so we don't have them. But yeah, guys, very excited. Let me know what you think. Let me know what champions you chose. Let me know if you opened the Titan Crystal or are you waiting for the new one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace.